Here's a fun one. Oh, I mean, I guess it's not fun.
Yeah.
How did I start this with it's a fun one? I mean, it's different. It's not fun, but
No.
it's different for us. But I don't know. I'm so conflicted by this.
We had a good time.
I am so conflicted by this story. I do not know how to feel about it. It's so strange to me. And maybe it shouldn't be strange. Maybe it is straightforward. But you know me, Will. I always have to dig a little. I don't know. I work to try to find, to try to comprehend, to try to
Well, what matters to you?
put it in
is
a
interesting.
package, to try to make sense of it.
Uh-huh.
Sometimes there is no sense to be made.
No.
Most of the time. Anyways, the number one tennis player in the world, Novak Djokovic, gets kicked out of the U.S. Open. I guess it's one of the biggest tournaments, if not the biggest tournament of the year. Alongside the fact that you had the COVID stuff, he actually had COVID and hosted a tournament where a bunch of people distributed. So it's been a tough ride already. Well, anyways, he was having a rough match and has been going through some pain in the shoulder. And I guess he was down in this match. He turns and slaps the ball to one of the officials. And the official appeared to be unaware that the ball was being slapped in their direction. And the ball somehow finds the center of the throat on the official. And you can, I don't know, scroll a couple of frames because I believe ESPN is trying to get this taken down everywhere it's being shown. And you pick the perfect frame. Now you see the balls flying in the air. And I will tell you, I'm not physically there, but it's definitely not a serve. All right, it's a kind of a tap, but this is obviously Djokovic. He knows how to hit a ball. And maybe it's a little harder than you would normally tap it to one of these officials. Maybe you would never tap it to these officials. I don't know what he is expecting to take place here. But the ball flies. It hits the official clean in the throat. And the official with the reaction, I mean, the reaction looks slow the way Willie Doo's going frame by frame, but there is a reaction. The official goes down. And Djokovic runs over there. There's a whole discussion. And the individual who is hit here is removed from the match, removed from the tournament. They walk off the court, injured, presumably. I mean, they walk off on their own power. There's no stretcher. There's no stretcher that comes out.
Yeah.
Djokovic seems remorseful. It seems like a mistake. He seems almost to be admitting that it's a mistake, sort of, because of his reaction. Immediately after it happens, he kind of reaches out like this and walks over there. And then there's a conversation between him and the remaining officials, and they say, "You're out, bud. You're done here."
Oh,
and that's the number
guy.
one player in the world. And I watch this, and I just think to myself, Will, what is the correct? I mean, this is their protocol, right? It's not my protocol. Apparently, if an official gets removed and you had anything to do with it, it's right in there. Apparently, it's written right in there. Even if you didn't intend it. He says, by the way, this whole situation has left me really sad and empty. He said that on Instagram. I checked on the lines person and the tournament told me, thank God she is feeling okay. I'm extremely sorry to have caused her such stress. So unintended, so wrong. I need to go back and work on my disappointment and turn this all into a lesson for my growth and evolution as a player, as a human being.
Oh, man.
I apologize to the U.S. Open tournament and everyone associated for my behavior.
Oh, jeez.
I mean, it hurts the tournament. It hurts the sport, I guess. It hurts the people he was going to play that wanted to play against the number one player. Like, and then the person who wins the tournament, it would be like, oh, but you didn't beat Djokovic.
Yeah.
Or he didn't get kicked out in the typical way that he got beat. So he's not a, you know what I'm saying? It just skews the whole thing over something so dumb and seemingly, like, I'm trying to imagine myself. Now, I don't know the way it would feel or felt to take the ball there at that velocity. Obviously, I'm an outsider. I'm the armchair quarterback right now.
This is an accident, though, right?
It's an accident.
He didn't purposely do that.
It's an accident.
It's just so unfortunate that it just landed square on her neck.
Here's the dial. Here's from the actual rules, the Grand Slam rules. Hitting a ball or throwing a racket without intent to harm is enough. So you don't need the intent. You just need the harm part. and the officials had no choice. That met the protocol. It's harm. It's perceived as harm, and it wasn't in the course of play. And it doesn't help, I guess, that he was upset at that moment. But I don't know. I don't watch enough tennis to know if that's a regular. Look at that image. Incredible image.
She's like, cha-ching.
What can you take from that image? I mean, the image. Is she really damaged?
Yeah.
Would you be like that if you were damaged? Now, I get it. We're just looking from the sideline. I have some sympathy, but the question is how much sympathy? Mm-hmm. Is there a court case? Does he get sued? It's a crazy case. It's a perfect case, actually, for 2020. All the things that, it fits perfectly with 2020. But I would have liked to think that there would have been some other solution than the one that took place. I understand they have their rules, but, I've been in tournaments. I play sports my whole life. And it sucks for the whole thing to be over something accidental. Mm-hmm. If there was real intent to do harm, I'm fully there.
Yeah,
I'm fully there. But unless it's some sort of catastrophic damage, and maybe this has more to do with the rule book than it does with their response. Because if it's in the rule book, it's in the rule book. And maybe, there's obviously been situations in the past, maybe even worse than this, that caused them to write the rule book the way they do.
Yeah.
But you watch the clip. You go watch it for yourself. You tell me what you think. I'm not telling you how to think. You gotta look at the footage and try to come to your own conclusion on that one.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully she's okay. Hopefully she can be okay from this. And I mean, man, if he can just finish the tournament, if he can, that would be.
No,
awesome.
he's out. He's out. It's over. He's out of the tournament. And that's the way it goes sometimes. Yeah. Sometimes you could have the best intentions. Sometimes you could be on a tennis court, you could tap a ball and it could hit somebody square in the throat, even though of all the places it could have hit on that wall, in the chest, in the belly, or the person could have picked up that he was doing it and caught it or whatever. Again, all the possible outcomes, this is the one. It seems surreal. Mm-hmm. It seems surreal. The ball finds the throat. He happens to be the number one player at the time. It's incredible. It's hard to imagine it all happening the way that it did, but sometimes in life, a tennis ball hits you in the throat. I don't know.
2020.
I don't know.